You're welcome to another great episode. In this video, we'll find the values of x given that x over 2 all raised to the power of 6 is equal to 3 to the power of 6. Well, our first step will be for us to focus on the left-hand side. The left-hand side, we can apply the property of indices that says that when I have a all over b all raised to a power n, this can be distributed as a to power n all over b to power n. So let's rewrite the left-hand side like this. So this becomes x to power 6 all over 2 to power 6. And this is equal to 3 to power 6. Very good. Now to clear the denominator, we have to multiply both sides by 2 to power 6. So 2 to power 6 multiplied by the left-hand side, x to power 6 all over 2 to power 6. This is equal to, we also use 2 to power 6 to multiply the right-hand side, which is 3 to power 6. Good. Now see that 2 to power 6 cancel out from the left-hand side, leaving behind x to the power of 6. And this is equal to, now on the right-hand side, we can apply this property of indices. A to power n times b to power n. This is equal to a times b all raised to the n. So we can multiply the bases. 2 times 3 is 6 raised to the power of 6. That is it. Just like this. Now let's move everything to one side. So we have x to power 6. And as 6 to power 6 crosses to the left, it becomes minus 6 to power 6. This is equal to 0. Good. Now we can do something very interesting here. Since I see negative here, I know of an identity that can help us to pass this stage. And that is difference of two squares. So I have to make this a power of 2 and make this a power of 2. And how is that possible? Now watch. X to the power of 6. 6 is the same as 3 times 2, right? Cool. Minus 6 to the power of 6. 6 is the same as 3 times 2. This is equal to 0. And from indices, it will interest you to know that whenever I have a to the power of m times n, this is the same as writing a to the power of m all raised to the power of n. So we can apply this logic here. So this will be x to the power of 3 all raised to the power of 2 minus, this will be 6 to the power of 3 all raised to the power of 2. And this is equal to 0. You notice something? We now have difference of two squares. So difference of two squares has this identity. When I have m squared minus n squared, this is the same as m minus n times m plus n. And when we compare, you'll notice that m represents x cubed and n represents 6 cubed. So now let's write this like this. So this is m minus n, so that will be x cubed minus 6 cubed, and then times m plus n, so that will be x cubed plus 6 cubed, and this is equal to 0. Good. So we have two cases. We have x cubed minus 6 cubed to be equal to 0, or we have x cubed plus 6 cubed to be equal to 0. We're going to be solving these cases one after the other. For the first case, this first case, which is x cubed minus 6 cubed equal to 0, has an identity. This is difference of two cubes, which has an identity of m cubed minus n cubed to be equal to m minus n times m squared plus mn plus n squared, right? Cool. Now we can compare. Our m represents x, and then our n represents 6. So writing in this form, we have m minus n, so that will be x minus 6 times. Now we have m squared, which is x squared plus mn, so that is x times 6 is 6x, and then plus n squared, that is 6 squared, that is 36, and this is equal to 0. Now using the zero product rule, we have x minus 6 to be equal to 0, and we have x squared plus 6x plus 36 to be equal to 0. For the first case, the value of x is equal to 6 by adding 6 to both sides. For the second case, we have a nice quadratic equation. For any quadratic equation that cannot factorize nicely, we either use the quadratic formula or the completing the square method. I'll choose completing the square method because it is faster. And second, it has an even number here. So how do we do that? We first do that by moving 36 to the right hand side. So 36 moved to the right becomes negative 36, right? Cool. Now let's pay attention to this value. Half of 6 is 3. So when we square this, we add this to both sides of the equation. So 3 squared is 9. Plus, we also add a 9 here. Good. Now the left hand side is now a perfect square of x plus 3 all squared. So this is equal to negative 36 plus 9 is negative 27. Now to get rid of this square, we take the square roots of both sides. So I'll take the square root of x plus 3 all squared. This is equal to plus or minus the square root of negative 27. Now notice that this square root cancels out the square, leaving behind x plus 3 to be equal to plus or minus the square root of negative 27 is 3 root 3i. That is it. And to get the value of x, we move this 3 to the right hand side so that we have x to be equal to, as 3 crosses to the right, it becomes negative 3 plus or minus 3 root 3i. So we have two values of x from here. Remember, we've got 1 here, 1, so this is going to be the second and the third. Now let's go to our second case. Remember, our second case is x cubed plus 6 cubed equal to 0. So we're going to solve this to get other 3 values for x. Now notice that for this case, we have the sum of 2 cubes, which has this identity m cubed plus n cubed to be equal to m plus n times m squared minus m times n plus n squared, right? Cool. Now, when we compare, you notice that m represents x, while n represents 6. Now, writing in this form will be m plus n, which is x plus 6, times m squared, so that is x squared, minus m times n, which is x times 6 is 6x, and then plus n squared, so that is 6 squared is 36. This is equal to 0. So we have two cases from here. Using the zero product rule, we have x plus 6 to be equal to 0, and we have x squared minus 6x plus 36 to be equal to 0. For the first case, the value of x is equal to negative 6. This is moving 6 to the right hand side to become negative 6. Now to get other two values of x, we use the second case. Now for a quadratic equation that cannot factorize nicely, we either use the quadratic formula or the completing the square method. I'll choose the completing the square method because it is faster. And secondly, we have an even number here. So using the completing the square, I'm going to be moving 36 to the right hand side. So moving 36 to the right hand side. So 36 now becomes negative 36. Now pay attention to this 6. Half of 6 is 3. And when I square this, I have 9. So I'll add the 9 to both sides of the equation, making the left-hand side to be a perfect square of x minus 3 all squared. And this is equal to negative 36 plus 9 is negative 27. Good. Now to get rid of this square, we take the square root of both sides. So taking the square root of both sides, we have plus or minus the square root of negative 27. Now watch something. This square root cancels out the square, leaving behind x minus 3 to be equal to plus or minus the square root of negative 27 is 3 root 3i. Very good. Now to get the value of x, I just have to move negative 3 to the right hand side so that it becomes, as negative 3 crosses, it becomes positive 3 plus or minus 3 root 3i. Very good. So there are 3 values of x we got from this case. We have x to be equal to negative 6, and we also have x to be equal to 3 plus 3 root 3i, and x to be equal to 3 minus 3 root 3i. Remember, we've got 3 values before, so this will be the 4th, this will be the 5, and this will be the 6th values. Well, if you enjoy more episodes like this, click the video below